Alright guys, welcome back. Today we are going to continue with this go-kart. Today we got everything set up, everything's on, engine's mounted, fresh new rear axle. All we need to do is hook up a throttle cable, so I'm going to show you quick how to do that. And then we'll get to riding and see what we can do. Alright, first thing we're going to do, we're going to get these two 10mm bolts off the airbox. And then if you look in here, this little bridge is where your throttle cable is going to go. And it's going to link into this little throttle joint connection. There's a few ways to get it in. One through that hole, tighten it down with the set screw, or if you have a hook type, you can get it in any of those three holes. And the last thing we're going to have to do is loosen this guy up so the arm has free play and can spring back with the throttle. So let's get this airbox off, two 10mm, get everything out, and we'll keep going. Alright, once we get the airbox off, like I said, this is going to be our little bridge. Our throttle is going to come in through here, and we're going to hook into one of these depending on what setup we have. But all we need to do first is loosen this one. See how right now it doesn't have any play? We'll go ahead and loosen it up a little. It's also a 10mm. Alright, so I died there. I'm not sure where we were, but I know we got this loosened up. Showed you that. We want it loose enough so our spring up there on the pedal pulls that back. So for right now, we're going to let it how it is, and we're going to hook up our throttle cable, which I just set down because the FedEx guy showed up. So here it is. So this end here is going to go through a bolt and a nut up on the pedal, and the other end here, the tail, I'm going to see if I can get that to fit through that small little hole on that bolt and screw there. So we're going to run the full cable through this bridge and get it set so the cable can fit into there. So let's get that. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to loosen this screw here on the bridge. I don't know what it's called. It's going to be our throttle cable holder. Loosen that up a little. Then we're going to go over here and loosen this. I think we need also need a wrench. I don't know what size it is. It looks smaller. Well, maybe not that small. So we'll try a 10. Just like on every other thing ever out there, a 10 usually does the trick, and it sure does. So we'll hold the nut and we'll loosen that screw. Alright, so we'll loosen that. Now, what we're going to do is take the tail end here, and we're going to come under the bridge, and I want to see if it'll fit through that hole. I don't know if you can see that. And this nut here, right there it is. There's a small hole. So we're going to try and get this cable through that hole. So I'm going to have to loosen that screw a little more. There we go. So now the tail is through, and it's through that hole. So what we want to do is get it all the way through, and ours actually has all this junk here, so we might have to loosen that bridge a lot more, or all the way to get our cable there. But we'll loosen that, and we should, there we go. I'm going to put ours here. We'll have to judge when we're installing where we're going to want that. I feel like I want it like right here, but I'm not sure yet. So we'll kind of play with the distances, because we want a good distance over there for this full action. So we don't want it too close, or we won't get enough throttle when we go full throttle. We're a little shaky there, cameraman shaky. So we don't want to get too close, because then we won't be able to go full throttle, and then we go too far away because we won't be able to hold this down. So I'm thinking we're going to end up holding down this metal part. So let's just kind of tighten that up now. Not crazy. And I don't know if that'll hold very well. I mean, it's not like we're pulling on it or yanking on it, because we'll also zip tie the cable to the body. But let's see what we can get here. We'll tighten that up. Get our wrench back out. Alright, so now we got everything tightened up. We look in there. We got our throttle cable through the bridge onto this little set screw and nut. Depending on what kind you have, some with the hook, like a lawnmower type or something, you might be able to get away with using those holes. So, if we go to the other end and pull the throttle, you can see it pulls the unit. So we want to make sure that we get enough play so we can pull all the way to there, because that's full throttle for us now. I'm not too concerned about going crazy fast right now. We just want to make sure everything runs, and if we end up want to go faster, we can loosen this guy up, and that'll let us get a little more speed out of it. So for now, we're set here in the back, so we can go ahead and get our air box back on. So let's get that back on. All it was those two nuts right there, so we'll get that back on, and then we'll worry about putting the throttle cable up. So we got ours on. We got the hose back into, I think this is the valve cover, but we'll get that back in better. We'll get our nuts on, and then we'll go ahead and run the cable up. Alright, I had to end up taking my bridge off because I could only go to this metal part, and it would slide a little in the bridge. There it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap actually some duct tape around this piece here and then put it in the bridge. That should help us prevent it from sliding. So let me get duct tape around there, and we'll get it back on, and then we can run it towards the front. Alright, before we finish the rear end, we want to get set up on the pedal first, so that way we know how much excess to give it. So one mod we're going to do, since our cable's a little thick and we have the round end, we're not going to be able to get it through that hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top off that and just make it an opening, and I can slide the cable down in, and then we'll use those nuts there to let it stay in place, and then we'll adjust our pedal and set up. So let's get the grinder out and grind this down. Once we got that opened up there, we're gonna go ahead and separate our nuts here. And that's gonna be able to sit in there like that. So what we want to do is have this no throttle on with it hooked in just like this. So we want this to be as close as we can here, and then we're gonna tighten these nuts. So we'll go ahead and get those tightened. It's hard to do with one hand. Let's see if I can set you down here. There we go. So we want that to be relatively close, and I'm going to bend that up a little bit actually. So I'm just going to bend that up a little bit more straight. There we go. So once we got it up there, oh, that's better. So we want that to be pretty close here, so we want to bring it probably as far back as we can. Could be wrong, but we'll check when we get up back. So go ahead and tighten that. So that's where our throttle is going to sit. Maybe we can tilt it back a little bit more. So let's see if we can get that a little more back. Let's get the bigger one. So we bent the whole thing, not just a tiny bit. Get our spring out of the way there. I know it's going to go super far because they got a bridge there for support. It helps if you close it the right way. Spin it the right way. Alright, so let's get it back kind of straight how it was, and then we'll take a bigger bite. There we go. That's going to be better there. Okay, so we're going to be good there. So then all we're going to do is go ahead and take a bolt through. It's going to be a little too big, so we're going to have to find a smaller one to come through here. But I like where it is now. Let's see if we can get a small one for now, temporary. Just to hold as a placeholder. Alright, that'll work there, just for a temporary placeholder. So we'll see in the back now how it works. So we got it set up there, temporary hold, cable comes back. Now we're going to tighten, we're going to make sure up there we have it kind of tucked as tight as we can, and then we're going to come back here and we're going to go back onto that one there on the throttle, that little set screw, and we're going to tighten that guy up. So now when we push the gas pedal, we will see the full action there. So go ahead. There we go. So now she's pulling the pedal, and then that is moving our throttle. And then we let go. The spring on the pedal is actually bringing us back. Let's see if it's bringing us back all the way. Not quite. We might have to loosen that main one up a little bit more. Go ahead and give it gas again. Perfect. And then let go. Alright, so it didn't quite bring us back all the way, so we might have to loosen that bigger one there a little bit more. We don't want to go too crazy. To have it too loose might rattle off, but we'll get that off a little bit more and we'll try it again. Alright, so before we do that, we found out we didn't even have the spring hook back up, so we hooked the spring back up on the pedal. So now I'll watch it again. Go ahead and give it gas. Alright, and it springs back, so it still didn't come back all the way, so we might be able to loosen that up just a hair. So we'll get down in there, loosen it up just about a quarter to half turn. We'll try it again. So go ahead, try it again, and let go. There we go, that's better. Oh yeah, one more time, and let go. Oh, perfect. Alright, so I rerouted the cable. We got it running underneath, out of the way of the wheel. Go over there. We'll put some zip ties on once we figure out that it's good to go. And then we'll put a new bolt on there, one that fits. But for now, we're going to go ahead, turn it on. And the gas back on. Might not need the choke because we started it a little bit earlier. But there we go. Oh yeah. Alright. So we'll come back, we'll give it some gas. Shove the choke on. Gas on. Should be good. There it is. Alright, and it goes back down to idle. So that's exactly what we want. We're good to go. I like that. So one thing I'm going to do is pin that up a little bit, about in here. Then we got a good 6-8 inches away from the wheel, so we're not worried there. We'll zip tie that here. Put another zip tie right in there, and we should be good there. Then we'll tighten these two nuts down, and get a new bolt that fits good in there. Get that connected, and we should be good to go. Be right back. Alright, so we're in the cable. We got the tie there. We got a tie there. We're tight here. And I bored out the hole in the pedal so I could use the nut and bolt I wanted to. And I put a spring washer in there. And then we just made our final adjustments up here to make sure when we give it a throttle, go ahead and give it some gas, we get everything we want. So we're here at idle. We give it gas, and then we let go. It comes back to idle. So there's some room in here play-wise, but this whole range till about right here is still idle. So if we give it gas, go ahead, give it gas. We get some full throttle there, and we still have a little bit of room left to go on the throttle set screw right there. And then we let go. It comes back to that range again, so we idle. So let's go ahead and fire it up, give it a try. So we'll get it kicked on. Let it set for a second. So there's our idle range, and if you see, we move it between here and there. It doesn't change. So go ahead and give it gas. And we let go. And then when we let go, it comes back to the idle range. So that's all there is to it. Quick and easy. Setting up the throttle to your Predator, and pretty much any of your other type of go-kart engine. You just got to make sure your body has some free play and you get your cables through any kind of set screw your engine has, and then there should always be a little bridge type cable holder, and the duct tape wrapped around ours really worked. It's not going to want to move at all. So that was it. So we'll go ahead and give it a ride. Let's get it outside. Alright, here we go. First ride. It's already warmed up a little bit. Let's see what we can do. Alright, we got some problems with the idle, so we're going to figure that out quick, and then we'll get back on. But so far, pretty good, so let's figure that out. Alright, so I lost the footage there at the end of that video. If you heard me say, if you didn't hear me say, I said it died, and my kid goes, how? Well, I still had the oil sensor connected in the back of that engine, so right underneath your kill switch, there's a few wires that have quick connects on them. That is your low oil sensor. Well, if you keep that hooked up as a go-kart, when you go on hills or do anything crazy, and your oil sloshes back and forth, it's going to get below that sensor, and then it's going to cut you out. So you're going to lose power. You're going to lose the whole engine. It's just going to kick off. So what we did on ours, we just disconnected them. That's all you need to do. Later on, if we decide to do more upgrades, we'll go in and take that all the way out and plug it up with a bolt. But for now, all you need to do is just disconnect the quick connects down there, and you won't have any issues with the shutoff. So that's going to be it for that. That's going to be it for this go-kart for now. We're just going to ride it a bunch and hopefully get a lot of mileage out of it. Eventually, we are going to disassemble that whole thing, probably blast it up, maybe wire wheel it, however we want to do it, and then we'll give it a fresh paint job, new seat, maybe some new stickers, and then we'll have a brand new looking kart. So I appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can check out a next project we're going to work on. I think it's going to be one of the PW80s, or maybe even that XR70 if all of the stuff comes in for it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.